Satya Dhamma Reflection on May 27, 2022. This is not about attempting to dwell. Just give no significance and meanings to the disregard itself. No is not even no itself. It's not about attempting to dwell. No is not even no itself. It is not about attempting to dwell within the mind. It's not about any significance within the mind. Nothing is within the disregard itself. Nothing is within no itself. Everything just give no concern, no significance. It's not the disregard itself. All the same, disregard from the disregard itself, release from the stillness and the releasing itself. Releasing from all that kind of idea of good practice and release from the release itself. Disregard is not itself, child. Stillness is not itself. Indifference has no significance in itself. No is no, not no itself. Non-attachment is not itself. Don't compose the mind. That's going to be sticky. Don't maintain, don't drown. The disregard is not itself. The dispersed doesn't grasp itself. Brightening or emptiness doesn't grasp itself. The non-attachment doesn't grasp itself. Give no significance to the disregard itself. This will gradually dissolve the substantial idea of oneself. This is the delusion. Otherwise, it will not be said, no is not even no itself. If maintaining and drown within anything, even a tiny bit, is not a tiny bit at all. It's a lengthy term of realm of existence. The attributes of the mind has nothing to do with itself, child. Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. It's not about anything within the uninvolvement itself. Diligently form up the essence to purify itself more constantly. Otherwise, the habits of attempting to dwell will overlay the attributes of the mind, always give significance and meanings and involvements on and on endlessly. It's going to be just realms of existence on and on. Diligently purify the reminder itself. For example, just disregard that is not itself, uninvolved, that is not involved with itself. This is called self-purification. Self-purification within terminologies, within reminder, within the conclusions. Whatever that is the realm of existence overlaying the body and the mind, overlaying the mind, overlaying emotions, will be ended itself. All the overlaying within stillness and indifference, all the significance and meanings and involvement will be ended. This will not become realm of existence, not becoming samsara itself. This is not about day by day just think using thoughts and recalls without self-purification. It becomes deludedly circling in itself. No is not even no itself. No is not even no itself. That is that which is not having significance and meanings within yes and no. Our delusion to be sticky because of the terms of payback is lengthy. The desire is lengthy. Is the desire within states of mind, within attributes of the mind, all that significance and meanings within our stillness, indifference within something. This is the desire within itself. It's not going to be long-winded, but still it is the cause within itself. If it's not the delusive attachment externally, however, it is still internally. The disregard is not itself. Give no significance and meanings to the disregard itself. Give no significance to the uninvolved itself. It's not about anything within itself as it is. No is not even know itself. Without diligently purify the conclusion itself, it's gonna get into the mode of familiarity, significance and meanings within thoughts, recalls, emotions and feelings, within knowing and not knowing, seeing and not seeing, within attributes of the mind, within all manners. There will be attributes of significance and meanings, which is the samutaya in itself, which is always overlaying. This is the samutaya of the attributes of the mind. Non-attachment is not itself. Don't use the non-attachment to non-attach with anything to circle with itself, to become samsara in itself. Give no significance to the non-attachment. Well, it's not about anything within the uninvolved itself. Don't use the uninvolved to attempt to uninvolved with anything. It's going to be circling. No is not even know itself. Well with it. Don't use no to reject anything. To be deludedly reject anything that is a delusion. A delusion in the no, in the rejection. Without purification in itself, there's still delusion to reject. That is yes to the no. Being deluded with titi regarding a rejection. Deludedly thinking that it is, which is not something that is the truth, the essence. It's one's own idea, one's own titi. Powerfully share the essence of that which is not the non-attachment, so that it will not be stuck with just eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body and mind, senses and sense perceptions. Powerfully share the essence of that which is not about anything, through eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body and mind, without clinging or give significance to. No clinging to all the senses and sense perceptions, whether it is externally or internally. No need to take all of that into account. Give no significance to the non-attachment itself, uninvolved with it, well with it. There is no need to be concerned with all the perceptions through seeing and knowing, because that is just clashes. To be obsessed with significance and meanings and involvement, that is clashing. Contact. Purify through the emptiness, child. Use that which is not about non-attachment to all things. It will turn into purification of extinction and emptiness all by itself. There is no need to be reserved within stillness or indifference. No is not even know itself. Powerfully. Go beyond your age. Don't be obsessed with significance of being young or being old. Give no significance to the non-attachment itself, so it will release from the crystallization within stillness, within a length of time. Non-attachment is not itself penetrate through eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, brighten out, shine out right away. Continue with no significance and meanings in the non-attachment. It will end all minds, because that is derived from all the clinging. No is not no itself. It will purify everything within all the mind perceptions. Naturally, it will not be about anything whatsoever. This is purification of Nibbana, of the emptiness. During the time when one gives significance and meanings and involvement, it's impossible to associate with such a mind. That is Vedana. Why is that so? It's still something of the mind, so it's not possible to associate with. This is not about restlessness. It is not possible to associate with restlessness. Therefore, dissolve all the association. No is not even no itself. Non-attachment is not itself. Dissolve all the perception within the mind, within looking, seeing, and knowing. Don't be stuck with just the habit of clashing with just senses, sense perceptions. Purify through the emptiness, well with it. At least help through the unwinding for one another. Move on with everything altogether in the way of unwinding from itself. Unwinding out. Be one with it, so that this is going to be the anupap of the brightening, helping through unwinding and releasing altogether. Stillness itself is the Vedana. It's narrow, it's limited. Just like those who are skillful in entering and leaving the meditative state of contemplation, always entrapped within such a thing, have no power to move out. Fixation. That kind of release from meditative state, it becomes clashes. Recall the essence. Use the reminder to purify it. Disregard is not the disregard itself. This is the essence that can be used for reminding. Not to be stuck with the stillness. give no significance to the non-attachments more constantly. These will release out from such state, more unwinding further and further from it, from crystallization. You need to use movement to help. The maintaining itself is the Vedana. What the objects of maintain is also the Vedana in itself. Use the essence of that which is not even know itself. No is not even know itself. Discard the rejection, discard the non-attachment. No grasping the brightness itself. No grasping the unwinding itself. Use this essence to help. This is all about no grasping even the non-attachment itself. No grasping even the attributes of the mind. Let's conclude through all these essence of non-grasping. Then it will not be about attempting to get out of such state. Remind oneself of the essence of non-grasping itself. Then it will be truly releasing. But using the attempt to release out is impossible to help oneself out. Need to use the conclusion that has nothing to do with attempting or grasping. And so declare the renunciation and revocation of all the will, intentions to attain something. Just shift into blessing instead. All the concentration, mindfulness, contemplation and all that, shift it towards blessing. Only use the essence of non-grasping itself. No grasping, even the non-grasping itself. Disregard, even from the disregard itself. Then it will not be about grasping. That is already Nirodha. And Nirodha is not the samudaya. This is not Nirodha in the form of getting in, getting out. Uninvolvement within the uninvolved itself, it will end all that type of actions to get in and get out of meditative state. When one practices all the Dhamma of mindfulness, concentration, contemplation, spiritual insight, one will have such a habit. However, use the essence through Nirodha. No is not even know itself, for example. It will be that which is help ending the samudaya. Don't use effort, because that is still getting into it. The attempt to get out is not actually getting in itself. No is not even know itself. no grasping, even the non-grasping itself. Continue to conclude that the present is not the present itself. This is not about deludedly discarding it. Discard the discard itself, actually. The discard itself is not significant in itself, actually. All the interpretations about Nirodha in various ways is turned into distortion. Nirodha doesn't mean anything. The samudaya overlaying mindfulness, concentration, contemplation. That is the grasping. That is practicing the samudaya. It's endless because it's always circling in such a way, changing location of paying back of karmic difficulties. Always be realms of existence in any place, just changing location according to one's own samudaya of practicing, depending on whatever that one practices for attaining. That is the samudaya of the practice. One will have to queue up to pay back such a vibhak, such a karmic difficulty. It's circling on and on like a cycle, endless cycle. It is the circling within states of mind. Non-attachment is not itself. No is not the no itself. Don't let it become a rejection. Just listen to the essence of Nibbana that has nothing to do with itself. The conclusion of liberation, which has nothing to do with itself. Listen to it. Listen to the sentence that dissolves the sentence itself. Then one will not be suffering with all the striving, attempting to let go. This is like a path, which is the samudaya within the path itself. Listen to something that has nothing to do with duality. Samsara or Nibbana, yes or no, emptiness or not, releasing or not, liberated or not. This is meanings of dualities. Listen to something that has nothing to do with it, which has nothing to do with attachment or detachment, uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself, uninvolved within the uninvolvement itself. This will end the samudaya naturally. For the power that one accumulated since the past, let's transform it into blessing instead. Then such a power will not become clashes, will not become like a will, like projecting minds. Instead, it become power of purification. It will be the power of helping through unwinding and releasing instead. All the will that deludedly overlaying samsara, it becomes like set up to let go. Let's declare renunciation and revocation of all the will that overlays. That's all that one needs to do. Just declare renunciation and revocation of all the desire and expectation within attainment, within the grasping. Uninvolved within the uninvolvement itself. No is not no itself. Then one will not be deluded with yes and no with anything. Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. No is not no itself. No grasping the non-grasping itself. Then one will not deludedly grasping anything, whether it is Nibbana or Samsara. This is the sentence that purifies itself.